Hi, I hope you're having a great day. In this video, we're gonna answer another set of previous exam questions from the 2023 介護福祉士国家試験 under the categories 人間の尊厳と自立 and 人間関係とコミュニケーション. So, without further ado, let us begin. We are to select the choice that best describes a caregiving practice that improves a client's QOL, or quality of life. In Japanese, that's seikatsu no shitsu. Choice number 1 is wrong. Although improving a person's nichijou seikatsu dosa, or activities of daily living, is indeed important, in this question, we are not talking about nichijou seikatsu dosa. We're talking about seikatsu no shitsu. Improving seikatsu no shitsu and nichijou seikatsu dosa are both important, but these are two different concepts. Choice number 2 is also wrong. What makes this choice wrong is this part here. Always remember that whatever you do as a caregiver here in Japan, the focus of Kaigo is not the Kaigo Fukushi Shoku, not the Shokuin, but the Ryosha, the client, the elderly. Choice number 3 is also wrong. Again, the focus of Kaigo is the Ryosha, and the Ryosha no Nizu. The Kazoko no Nizu is almost always secondary. Choice number 5 is also wrong. This part here is what makes this choice wrong. Although as caregivers here in Japan, we might be taking care of a dozen or more elderly inside the caregiving facility, our care will always be kojin teki. We don't group a ryosha and provide care to them as a group. No, we provide care to each ryosha individually. Obviously, choice number 4 is correct. When using a fukushi yogu, or a piece of equipment that aids a ryosha in his or her daily life, we must always consult the ryosha on how, when, or where he or she wants to use that equipment. We must not never force an equipment to a ryosha and expect them to use that equipment the way we want it. No, no, no. So, Mr. A, 25 years of age, is a person with disability. His disability is something called Moumaku Shikiso Hensei Sho. Now, I don't really know. Honestly, I don't have any idea what is Moumaku Shikiso Hensei Sho. Neither is its English translation, the retinitis pigmentosa.
Retinitis pigmentosa.
However, I could guess that the word retinitis has something to do with the word retina, an important part of our eyes that allows us to see. With that alone, I can guess that Mr. A's disability, the Moumaku Shikiso Hensei Sho, has something to do with his eyesight. Perhaps he has problems seeing things or just basically blind. My guess can be backed up by the fact that Mr. A needs assistance when moving and going to the toilet. And I think you will only need assistance when going to the toilet or moving if 1. You are paralyzed. It's not stated in the situation that Mr. A is paralyzed. 2. You are old. Very old. Mr. A is just 25 years old, a decade younger than me. 3. You are blind. With this situation, we can safely assume that Mr. A might be blind. So, going back, Mr. A lives with his mother, like music, and attends a choir once a month. However, the choir competition will be held in a place far, far away. And Mr. A told you, the caregiver, that he wants to participate in the competition, but he's worried about going to a new place. As Mr. A's caregiver, what will be your appropriate response? The correct answer is choice number 3. Remember that Mr. A is worried about going to a new and far, far away place. Checking the route and the venue together might decrease Mr. A's worries. Choice number 1 is wrong because you're basically saying that Mr. A should just give up. Choice number 2 is also wrong because you're asking another person to take care of Mr. A. Taking care of Mr. A and making sure he is safe is basically your job as a caregiver. And in this context, you are Mr. A's caregiver. Choice number 4 is also wrong. You might want to take advice or suggestions from Mr. A's mother, but the mother should not be the one who decides if Mr. A can participate in the competition or not. Mr. A is 25 years old, an adult. He is an adult, a blind adult but still an adult that can decide for himself. Choice number 5 is wrong. Nichijo seikatsu jiritsu shien jigyo doesn't have anything to do in this situation. So, Miss B, 80 years old, has just been admitted to a Kaigo Rojin Hoken Shisetsu, or Roken. You are C. Kaigo Fukushi Shoku, the caregiver in charge of taking care of Miss B, and you are trying to build a Shinrai Kankei with Miss B, who you've met for the very first time. We must select the right approach when dealing with Miss B for the very first time in this situation. Choice number 3 is the correct answer. Most of you watching this video right now might have done Jikoshokai in one way or another, right? In Japanese culture, whenever you meet someone for the very first time, it's appropriate to formally introduce yourself. Jikoshokai. Choice number 4 is wrong. It is very inappropriate to touch someone else's hand while talking if you've just met that person for the very first time. I mean, come on. Choice number 5 is wrong. You do not speak to Miss B in a tone like you're Miss B's grandchild. No, Miss B is not your family. Miss B is your client. You must address Miss B professionally and respectfully. The conjugations of words you will choose in this context will matter. In choice number 2, masshomen is usually used for formal meetings and the like. Remember that you're trying to build a relationship of mutual trust with Miss B here. Masshomen might be just too formal in this situation. Choice number 1 is also wrong. Do not refrain Miss B from doing something voluntarily, as long as it is safe for Miss B and everyone else. So, the Kaigo Fukushi Shoku cannot properly execute Ijo Kaijo. As such, he is looking for ways to improve his skills through OJT, or on-the-job training. What we must remember in this question is that the Kaigo Fukushi Shoku already has a job. That's why we have this kanji here. He just wants to improve his skills in Ijo Kaijo by training on his job. Choice number 1 is wrong. Buying a book might be useful, very useful. However, reading a book is usually done at home or anywhere else outside of your work. And doing something at home or anywhere else outside of your workplace is never an OJT. Dudes and dudettes, when working as a caregiver here in Japan, you rarely read books during your shift. Choice number 2 is also wrong. Gaibu Kenshu means training outside your workplace. Training outside your workplace or doing something outside your workplace is never an OJT. Choice number 4 is also wrong. Shokubagai means outside your workplace. Outside your workplace. Outside your workplace. Choice number 5 is also wrong. Just because this person is not good in executing Ijo Kaijo, that doesn't mean you should stop him from doing Ijo Kaijo. No, you should not stop him. You should train him. And that is why choice number 3 is correct. You should guide and train the Kaigo Fukushi Shoku when doing Ijo Kaijo. It's your job as a co-worker of the Kaigo Fukushi Shoku or senpai of this worker. So that's it. Those were some of the questions from the 2023 Kaigo Fukushi国家試験 under the categories 人間の尊厳と自立 and 人間関係とコミュニケーション. I really do hope you've learned something from this video that you can use in taking the exam next year. Before you go, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and share this video with your interested friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much for your time watching this video. See you in the next one. Boosh.